48 Christmas Wishes is an absolute darling of a film, and this is exactly how a film that has Santa's workshop in it should be done. It is great fun. It was released in 2017 and is directed by Marco Deufemia and Justin G. Dyck and written by Neale Kimmel. And I will read the description from IMDb because it's pretty spoiler free and there won't be any spoilers in this at all. So the description is as follows. For the first time ever, two junior elves have to leave home after losing entire town's letters to Santa. While attempting to blend into small town life, they set out to retrieve every missing wish before Christmas. So we have two separate narratives intertwining. The one that's described there is we have two elves who have lost all of the wishes from this town and they have to go into that town. They have to leave the magical realm and go to this mortal world and talk to all of the children there. I'm not entirely sure why there are only 48 children in this town, but I'm pretty sure there was more than that in the school. But they have to go and retrieve all of these wishes by speaking to the children individually to get their wishes verbally. And that straight away is great fun because we have these magical elves in the normal world and the contrast is brilliant. The two elves are so fun and full of life. In fact, everybody in this is fantastic. There are so many different elf characters and they're all brilliant. This is a very well acted film, particularly the child actors. I think across the board they were all full of energy and enthusiasm. They have great facial expressions. Their reactions are fantastic. I just think they did a really great job. It's really interesting to see the elves, kind of that contrast of magic and reality. And it's great fun to watch, and I think they have a great personality, and to me, these are what Santa's elves should be like in a Christmas film. They don't always have to be played by children, as we've seen with Will Ferrell, who often acts like a child at heart in films, but for me, it was absolutely brilliant. The other story is that we have a single mother, and her young daughter and son, and we learn pretty instantly that a few Christmases prior, a few years prior, they lost their father. And the daughter, Emma, is a very moody teenager, not coping with it. The younger son, Blake, he's very positive. He's having a positive outlook. He's got a really good attitude, and he meets the elves, and their two stories intertwine, and it's sentimental. But I think Blake has a great attitude, and he carries the story really well. And the elves are just brilliant. They get themselves into some hilarious situations that I cannot fault. And I think the casting was perfect. There was nothing wrong with this film. The costumes were absolutely amazing. The soundtrack was quite nice. Not that memorable, but nice enough. The dialogue, I love the dialogue, particularly of the elves. I'm just a really big fan of the elves in this. Santa is not in it a massive amount, but he's played by Paul Dyck, and I think he does a pretty decent job at being what I envision as Santa Claus, so that also worked well. What surprises me is this has not the best reception. There are 829 reviews on IMDb, and it has a total score of 4 out of 10. I genuinely, honestly cannot see why. Usually with films, if it's not that well received, I can maybe identify where some people might not like certain aspects, but honestly, I can't see that here. It was great fun, and there was nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to say it's innovative, groundbreaking, the best thing ever, because it's just a nice, fun Christmas film. But genuinely, I think that rating is not acceptable because I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think the two narratives were interwoven really nicely. Before they intertwined, we obviously had time in each narrative, and I think they came together really well. Great acting, great casting, lovely dialogue, funny narrative, and also emotional, great development, lovely pacing, the costumes were great. I have no complaints about this. I don't understand the low rating. If you're interested in it, please check it out. I promise you will not be disappointed.